Hi guys, happy Saturday night and welcome to vlog 7. How are you all doing? It's been officially 1 week now since we started vlogging together, and thank you so much for sticking with me through this whole week. The location has changed somewhat. I don't want you thinking I've ran out of amazing Kuwait locations, because that's literally never going to happen. I wanted to be indoors tonight because I wanted to run through this particular theory that we're going to talk about tonight with the help of some props, which is a fruit bowl. I've not done this before. This isn't some theory that I give to my staff with the use of props and we use fruit and everything. I don't even know how this is going to turn out. I just had it in my head that I think I can relate this to fruit. Please, if this is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life, please let me know in the comments, okay? But I'm really going to try it. I think I can relay this. Right, so yesterday we spoke about how the two issues that we wanted to cover yesterday and today were the employability factor of not having a plan B. Yes, you will be extremely employable, but if you start a business on a plan B, you're probably not going to achieve plan A. And today, what we wanted to talk about was how to set up your business with no money, and why actually it's preferable to set up your business with no money. And I know when you hear that, you probably think, but I've seen Dragon's Den, but I know how much things cost. But what about my wages? What about this? What about that? You know, I'm going to need some money to do it. And that's exactly the way I felt when I set up as well. I genuinely thought, I cannot do this without getting some money. And I approached people, I approached banks, I approached personal lenders, and I get turned down from every angle. And it's just as well that I did, because if somebody had given me the money that I was looking for at the start, which was in the region of about 20 grand, I would have blown it on crap that I didn't need. I would have had the best business cards out there instead of the Vistaprint business cards that I did eventually get. I would have probably had brochures and, lovely printed glossy things to hand out, and I would have had a website which cost me probably 5 grand instead of bribing one of my best friend's husbands to do it for a couple of Domino's pizzas and a couple of cases of beer. So it's these things that if I'd had money, I would have spent it on the wrong things. And what it made me do was to approach the business a lot leaner. It's like they call it the lean startup, and they call it bootstrapping, and there's all these cool words for it, which basically means you're going to be hungry for about 9 months. And I'm not talking about hunger as in drive to succeed. I'm talking about eating super noodles once a day, and that's really a lot. That's what you're going to go through, but that's going to make you smarter, it's going to make you more efficient, it's going to make you desire it more, it's going to make you want it more, it's going to make you see problems in advance because you can't afford to make them. And when you do make costly mistakes, you will not make them again. Whereas when you've got a massive slush fund of say 20 grand, if you have a mistake that costs you 500 quid, you're not really that bothered about it. When you've got nothing and a mistake costs you 500 quid, believe me, that hurts. So I'm going to talk about 3 different types of businesses: product-based business, service-based business, and an online business. I'm going to rattle through them because I don't want this vlog to take too long, but hopefully I can get across my message. Product-based business. You sell apples, right? So you can buy an apple, add on a margin, and sell it for a higher rate. Or you buy 100 apples and you get a cheaper amount and you sell them individually. Either way, you make your money through selling apples. I don't think I have to tell you, but apples obviously represents just any product, right? Go with me. So, the things that you would need your money for if you were an apple salesperson were buying a shed load of apples, right? So you probably want 20 grand so that you can buy loads of apples, so that you can stick a nice label on them saying your name, and so that you can get marketing flyers done, so you can get your name out there, so you can get an advert in Apple Times. You want all this money so that you can do that. And you'll have spent £20,000 and you will have a big stock of apples, and you might not get the sales, and they don't last very long. So this particular apple has been in my hotel room for about 3 days. I've seen better days. I don't think I would eat it. I wouldn't eat it if it was fresh anyway, but I probably won't eat it now it's 4 days old. So if you did spend all that money, you would probably have a case of rotten apples, you would have all this marketing jargon, and you wouldn't really know if your customers wanted apples. So instead of spending all the money up front, do your market research without spending any money on it, okay? Go to all the stores that would potentially buy apples, tell them you're thinking about becoming an apple salesperson, ask them how many they would need, what price they pay, what terms they would work under, blah, 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 okay? If you are providing a product to a smaller type of business, and you approach the owner of the business or the director of the business and you explain what you're doing and you say you want to bring this product to market, you are intending on buying however many of them, and you want to sell them on for this particular price, you can ask them to pay towards their order in advance. Explain where you're at, be honest, say that you've just set up a business and you don't have huge capital, but you know you can provide something different. For example, you can provide apples from the best apple provider in Apple Land, I don't know where apples come from. You can add a label to them which is going to be more attractive to their customers. Whatever it is that you can bring to the table, whatever it is that you can do differently, sell it on you first, make them buy you. And as soon as they buy you, you can negotiate the terms to suit you. You can be honest and say to them, I don't really have the money to get started. This is what I'm doing, will you please help me? And in return for helping me, I will either give you preferential terms for the rest of our dealings together, I will do something in return to help you, for example, if there's anything, a reciprocal agreement that we can work on, whatever it is, you will find something that you can bring to the table that you can add for value without having to pay up front for your stock. This is probably a much bigger topic than just basing on apples, and what I would really like to do is, if there's anybody out there who has a product-based business who would like to chat and who can actually talk me through what product it is they're selling, let's see if we can come up with a way within a vlog to get that product to market without having to spend money on the product before you have your client commitment, because then you've got your proof of concept, and once you've got your proof of concept and once you've got your clients committed, you will be able to raise the capital to then go and buy it. And whether that's from advance orders or whether that's from your distributor or your manufacturer even giving you the money, you will be able to get the money to bring your product to market if you have enough people wanting to buy your product. Okay, apples over. Right. The banana. I'm going to use the banana to talk about service-based business. I set up a service-based business which was lettings, and the way that I did that was I contacted people who evidently needed a letting agent. This was people advertising on Gumtree to rent their flat privately, and I contacted about 20 of them a day all over West Central Scotland, and I contacted them saying one thing: I really want to set up a lettings agency, I want to do it better, I want to do it cheaper, I want to be more customer service focused, I know what you're going through, I'm a landlord myself, and I want to help. Please let me try and work on your property and get you more access to tenants, because as a letting agent I have access to various portals, and then if I get somebody, you pay me. 2 people took me up in the offer out of about probably just under 100 contacts that I sent out, and when they took me up in the offer, I had already agreed that I had access to these better portals, but I hadn't paid for any of the portals yet, so now I had to phone around all the portals and say, will you please give me a month's free subscription so that I can get tenants for these properties, so that I can get paid, so that I can then pay your subscription? And they were like, yeah, absolutely, no problem at all, let's do that. No, one of them said that, everybody else told me to get. And the one that said that was about the 5th one I'd phoned, so if I'd given up after the 4th one, we wouldn't be standing here today talking about apples and bananas. So when you've got a service-based business, people are paying for your time, and you will sell your time for free until you can get somebody to pay the big money for it. So I'm going to try and demonstrate with this banana. So this is you, and this is your day. This is what you have to sell. And inside, we're going to divide that up into all these different sections. Again, this hasn't been rehearsed, so I really hope these don't fall out. Divided into different sections. Can you see that? So these sections are the different things, I really should have painted my nails, the different things that you do with your time every day. All of these sections, you probably won't get paid for. All of these sections you probably won't get paid for. This is going out, pounding the pavement, speaking to people, social media, online, doing research. But this wee section here, that's the bit that you'll get paid for. And the amount that you get paid for that covers the rest of the banana, okay? So that's a service-based business. Now we're going to talk about an online-based business. I'm going to rattle through this because I can see I'm at 10 minutes already. Setting up an online-based business, right? 3 easy steps. 1, hold a webinar. Totally free. Get on social media, promote it. All it takes is your time. Get as many people as you can along to the webinar. Have a 1-hour webinar or even a half-hour webinar about what you do. Tell everybody what you do. Let's pretend it's training. Tell everybody what you do, then tell them how you can do it, and then tell them how much it costs. Tell them you're having a training session in 1 month, which will cost £25 each, right? You've got lots of grapes watching your training session, right? These grapes are the grapes that sign up for, you've got lots of grapes watching your webinar. These are the grapes that sign up for your training session, okay? I told you this might get a bit ridiculous. There's probably about 20 of these here. So 20 people out of, say, the 100 watching your webinar go, I'm in. This is your bank of customers. This is your database of people who are going to pay for something that you've not delivered yet. Let me say that again. They're going to pay for something you've not delivered yet. So if you do a webinar to 100 people and you get 20 grapes signing up, 25 quid each over by PayPal, you've got £500. You've got £500 in your bank for a training session that you've not delivered. So if you're on a webinar and you get no grapes signing up, then you don't hold the training session. If you get 1 or 2 and you don't hold the training session, you could always give them their money back. You could cancel it with enough notice, or you could hold it and decide that that's enough. But you're not risking anything by doing a webinar. You're just risking half an hour or an hour of your time. That's how you can build an online business. It's so much to pack into one vlog. There's obviously other things you need to consider for these, such as how much value you're adding to your products, how valuable your services are. If you're doing online training and you're doing webinars and everything like that, do you have enough content that people are going to want to come and see you? But I hope that's given you a taste of just how easy it is to set up a business with no money. Probably you would not be able to set up Tesla with no money. That's maybe the only exception. Virgin was set up with no money. Richard Branson did have rich parents, but you've got certain aspects of that were set up with no money. You've got Apple, which was set up with no money. You've got all these examples in history of businesses that didn't need an injection of cash in order to get going. And I think that's the big thing that you've got to remember. You don't need money. You need a killer idea. You need an amazing work ethic, and you need to be 100% convinced that you can do it. And that's worth all the money in the world. I'm really sorry to take up so much of your time. I hope that was valuable. I'm going to get back to my banana now. Right, cheers guys, bye bye.